The judgment of God is not only in eternity, it is both in time and eternity. What do I mean by that? It means that once you are even on this earth, God may choose to judge you. Before the final judgment, God may choose to judge you. So be careful with your life. Don't only think that it is only when you die that God will judge you. God has the powers to judge you whilst you are on this earth. And all the history we read about the Israelites, the things they went through, sometimes they were carried into captivity, into Babylon. They were all the judgments of God on them. Almost all the prophets, they predicted the judgment of God on the people of Israel. I can give you just one scripture you understand. Ezekiel chapter 5, reading from verse 8 maybe to 10. Ezekiel chapter 5. This was a time judgment. This was on this earth. Whilst you are on this earth. So whilst you are on this earth, be careful. If God gets angry and stretches his hand towards you here on this earth, his judgment can come upon you before you even meet the final one. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I am against thee. I will execute judgment in the midst of thee, in the sight of all nations. Read on, we'll move on. Then he said in the verse 9, and I will do in thee that which I have not done, and whereunto I will not do any more the like, because of thy abominations. The next verse, therefore the fathers shall eat the sons in the midst of thee, and the sons shall eat their fathers. This is part of his judgment. He said, this is a judgment I'm going to bring upon you. You will bite it, eat yourself. When God decides to judge, he can judge you whilst you are here. And that will not mean that you in eternity he will judge you. He will judge you again. So even whilst you are here, any one of us, God can decide. That one is a choice. God can decide that this person, he has gone beyond a certain limit. I'm going to judge him or her here on this earth before even the final judgment. So be careful with your life. Don't play jokes and tricks with God. God is not your equal. So your classmate, when you were in a Debbie commercial college, did you see God there? Be careful with your life, because God can judge you. I'm telling you, God can judge you. You see, when Joshua chapter 6 verse 26, when God brought down the walls of Jericho, God through Joshua spoke a prophecy, and Joshua said, cursed be any man who will rise up to build this Jericho wall again and this city. He said, anybody who rise up, the person is cursed. He said, when the person takes shovel, hammer, pickers and dig the ground to lay the foundation, the very first day he lays the foundation, his son will die. His firstborn son will die. He will lay the foundation with his firstborn son, and the day he will finish, before they do housewarming, whatever warming, the day he will finish, his last one will also die. That was what Joshua said. And that was a judgment of God Joshua had spoken over the city. And Joshua adjured them at that time, saying, cursed be the man before the Lord that rises up and buildeth this city, Jericho. He shall lay the foundation thereof in his firstborn, and his youngest son he shall set up the gates thereof. Here on this earth, God can judge you here on this earth. If you don't know, any day, any time, anywhere you meet Nebuchadnezzar, ask him. Ask him. Ask Nebuchadnezzar. He was a great king in his paramountcy. According to Daniel chapter 4, verse 31 to 33. And Daniel 4, especially from 31. The Bible said he was standing one day and was speaking. Braggadocious Nebuchadnezzar. Bragging and saying things, and that's why it is very dangerous to brag. Those of you who brag, it's a dangerous thing. You look at people and say they don't know how to dress. You look at people and despise them and say hey, you are bragging. And sometimes the people who brag, they don't get seen. They are bragging. He was bragging. Once the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, thy kingdom is departed from thee. The next verse, and they shall drive thee from men, thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou knowest that the Most High ruleth in the affairs of men. When they say 7 times, you don't understand. He stayed there for 7 years. 7 years in a bush. A person that will be going and people will be holding protocol. They will be saying, clear. He was in the bush with claws, eating grass. Because God had decided to pronounce judgment on him. You have to be careful. If God decides to pronounce judgment on you, you will come down like this. Something can just happen to you. That'll be the end of you. If God decides on this earth. So it's not just in heaven, but it's the heaven one we are talking about. It's the eternity one we are talking about. But even on this earth, if God decides to, if you don't know, go and ask Herod. In Acts chapter 12, he was sitting down bragging. He said, me, Herod, I'm great, I'm king. Then people were clapping their hands, and people said, he speaks like a god. And God sent one angel. God did not come himself. One angel. While Herod was still talking, the angel stood behind him and just gave him the one that cover your eye plus your whap like that. When he just gave him one slap, suddenly maggots started coming out of him. He just fell down like that. Maggot. You're talking about God? If God decides to judge you, you'll be miserable. Be careful with your life. You are touching dangerous things. You are doing things that God hates. And it's as if God is relaxed. It's as if when God decides to judge you, he told Israel, he said, I am the one that have blown away your prosperity. Because you don't love my church, you don't love my tabernacle, you are all running into your buildings and your project site. I have blocked your everything. He said, you fetch water and I put it in a basket. You will be carrying a thing, thinking that you are carrying bucket, but I have turned it into the bucket. I've turned it into basket. By the time you get home, there's no water for you. He said, I've taken all your favors that should have come to you. God just block it. Be careful. If there is anything in your life that will cause God to be angry with you, you better change. You better change. Yeah, it can crush you. There are some people, the things they are suffering is because of their mouth. God has blocked all sources of funding, all sources of progress, all sources of increase, because the person, young as she is, talks some way. God said, I'll block it. You will see something. I'll let you suffer like a poor man's child. I'll let you beg to eat, so that next time you respect people. There are things God can do to you on this earth. God can allow certain disease to hit you. No doctor from India to Pakistan. If God becomes angry with a man, it's a different thing altogether. And therefore, be careful when you talk about the judgment of God. Even though my focus is the eternal judgment of God, I want you to know that God can also judge you in time.